beloved. I thank you so much for your time, and I thank you for joining me on the Prophetic Vessel Show. This will be your message from God, Ra, Allah, Source, the Divine. I'm grateful for your time. To those whom are keen or interested in becoming members of my Patreon, on my Patreon, I do offer weekly sign readings for $10 per month based on love as well as ancestral lineage readings. I also offer on my Patreon personal readings for $50 per month. You get a personal reading from me every month based on love, spiritual path, career, and finances, as well as ancestral messages. I also now offer one-on-one sessions / life coach sessions. Those will be once off and not monthly. You can only book me for those directly via my email, which will be listed in my description box below, as well as the link to my Patreon. If you'd rather join my Patreon instead, you can also join my Patreon by typing what is on the screen via Google, search it, and it'll lead you to my Patreon website. Without further ado, let us tap in and find out why we're spiritually led here. What is here for you, beloved? Why did you resonate with the title? And why did your own YouTube algorithm present you with this message? Let us tap in and talk to God, okay? So as I looked to my left, I felt a presence, right? So what I'm channeling from that energy is there's a presence that's walking with you. So at this time in your life, there's a presence that's walking this life with you. So wherever you go, whatever you're doing, wherever you're with, whatever you're thinking and feeling, this presence is there, yeah. And with the King of Wands, it goes where you go. It does what you do. But it's a presence of protection. So whatever you do, wherever you go, wherever you're around, it protects you, and even within yourself. So if you ingest anything that is meant to harm your body, it will transmute it for you in a form of protection. Okay, so it's a very powerful time you're in at this time in your life. Like this presence overshadows you, but not in a way of being your handler, but in a way of being your servant. It's like God declared this protection over your life because of the type of life you're living. We tend to miss God in this world that confuses us about who he is because we've given Satan so much power, claiming that, oh, this and this is so bad, this and this is so bad, not knowing it's God's creation because Satan didn't create anything. He is of God's creation too. He's just fallen. He's not in the kingdom. And he's trying to recruit others to be against God. Not everything is an agent of Satan because Satan is not everything. He is what he can be. He can possess something, someone, he can do things, but it's of God's creation already. So there's truly genuine spirits out here that work for us in the darkness that we fight against every day. Those silent battles, wondering how did I get through this day with all this anxiety and stress? Wondering how did I get home safely with all these accidents in the road? Wondering how am I able to get by in life with all that is happening around me? Those be the spirits, the presence that God sends, and we miss it, thinking we know what things should be like when we misinterpret God every day. Don't misinterpret God, you'll miss out, right? So God is protecting you using this presence. They say he's everywhere. God is everywhere. He's everywhere in who he can show up to be in your life. He can be that friend that says that encouraging word to uplift your whole mood. Or he can be a presence that annihilates your enemies that are spiritually attacking you. Okay, we have justice. He can send an army. Stand as they stand against her. He'll command the army to stand against those who stand against you, so that you don't even need to do anything. All we need to do is pray. No freaking voodoo witchcraft, black magic is going to earn you a place in the kingdom. It's going to earn you a place in your own hell. We get it misconstrued and misinterpret God because we want to be God instead of working with what he has given to us. So this presence in your reality is very powerful, okay? It's one which brings you ultimate protection. And when it leaves, it remains in that state of being with you. So it leaves because the job is complete. But the servantry of the services it provided reign supreme, longevity, it's forever type shit. Okay? It's like forever. Because I see here that you have so many weapons being formed against you, enemies known and unknown to you, that if you don't have this level of protection, you might literally be touched. So God needs to fight for you in this way. So he's calling upon the best of the best, OGUN. OGUN, okay? The spirit of OGUN is one of the ancient medieval times when prophets and prophetesses, when priests and high priestesses, when people like me used to help others and even help towns and communities, because we that powerful where we can cleanse a whole town, calling upon the creations of God to assist. That's why you can be someone that wherever you go, whatever neighborhood or area, and whatever spirits and entities rule over that area, neighborhood, town, shop, mall, wherever you are, take it out applies for wherever you go. Whether you're in your home, you be homebody, it's there. Because you need protection. You don't know that strangers Malakia when you rise every morning. Malakia is the evil eye. You don't know that strangers Malakia or that relatives Malakia or that freaking close friend, bestie, or that colleague. You don't know they're Malakia. You don't know they're evil eye. You think you're around someone to trust. You're around a demon. We be living with snakes. We be living with the reptiles are real. The reptiles are real, okay? We be living amongst them. We just don't know it yet. Because you don't see the spirit. It's in their spirit. It's who they are in spirit. We have the Five of Swords to the Hierophant. You fighting principalities that are of the dark kingdoms. Principalities that don't care about anything outside of seeing you destroyed. And they will house themselves in people's bodies as hosts. You thinking you telling a friend, simply put, you telling a snake. You thinking you telling a family member, simply put, you telling a cobra. Or you are speaking to Malakia, you're speaking to evil eye. People be evil eye in your life. And we just don't be knowing. Or we don't think it's as deep as it is. You can't surround yourself with a force that is against you. Things in your life won't align. It's like an example, an analogy, a reference point, a case study. Let's take, for instance, you're in a specific place of rest, but every time you go back home to your place of rest, you don't feel good. Like you don't like being there. It might be a beautiful place that you stay at or whatever the case might be. But in the place itself where you lay your head at, it doesn't feel good to be there. Or at night you don't get sleep. Or it just feels heavy and burdensome on your heart, or your spirit is unsettled when you're there, or you have such negative thoughts that overwhelm you in that same location. There's so much that fights against us. It's not just the person closest to us, it's the life we are living. Like, life is a constant fight because of what was done before our existence. Those that came before us, we are trying to fix what's been broken. We're trying to mend. We're trying to do better. Hence, it's important to always choose to do better. Never stereotype against how God must show up in another person's life. You don't know what protection they need or what they're fighting. Sometimes God needs to send an army because so many people can be up against one person. It's very common, especially if we walk this path. It's part of the path. Now people don't be learning their paths. They want to look at another person's path and walk it, not knowing what it comes with. We have the Eight of Wands to the Knight of Pentacles here. It's like the speed, the velocity, and the strength of the OGUN is because of what you need. So you might have supernatural instances or paranormal activities happening, but it's quite normal with someone who walks with OGUN. It's like, let's say there's an enemy around you, there's a snake in your midst, and how OGUN will protect you from that snake. Let's say you have not identified the snake or received confirmation about the snake being the snake. You know, you haven't seen it with your own two eyes. What OGUN will do, OGUN will put you in a position where, let's say that person was meant to say something that messes up your day or messes up your thought process about a specific thing. Meaning there's certain people that can speak things in your life that hurt you purposely to put you back to where you were within yourself. There are people that will speak negativity into your life and want it to come to life. And OGUN is the type of spirit that those type of words will not be able to be spoken by that person when they're near you. They can speak it behind your back, but never when they're near you. They can't even look you in the eye, or they panic when they do. The eye contact be lacking. There's ways OGUN can show up. That's just an example, an analogy, a reference point, a case study. You know the life you live. Sometimes you're around so many people, not choosing to be around them, needing your energy to be protected and safe as you are amongst them. It could be at work or otherwise. Grocery store, street, anywhere. And you just need protection around you, or OGUN will literally hover over you. You'll be the type that when something is not meant to happen, it won't, no matter how much that force tries to work up against you. It will constantly just fail until the force gives up because it doesn't have it in itself to proceed with the attack. And it can't use so-and-so because so-and-so no longer has the mask on. It's off now. They're exposed, you know, things like that. So there's a way it can happen. And it can happen because this is forever. You need to get used to OGUN. You need to get used to the army of protection that surrounds you, simply put, because it is around you. If there wasn't an army of protection around you, so many spiritual weapons could be formed against you. Your mental health would be in jeopardy, your emotional stability, your physical health as well, and your spiritual stamina. A lot of things would be attacked. So you need OGUN. This is not to say, worship OGUN. No, it's a servantry. It's God bringing his own, army. It's God. So keep the praise to the Most High God. Don't praise anything outside of God. Even our ancestors, our angels, sent to help us. They're our guides. They're not to be worshipped. You know, we can send them praises of love. We can send them praises of healing. We can send them praises of acknowledgement, but they're not our God. You know, they also are ruled by the Most High God. So that's why if you're right with God, your things will be right. If you're not right with God, your things won't be right. And I ain't talking about money. I'm talking your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your physical, being okay, even with the money or without it. Because in this world, we are taught so many traditions about what really matters, and that's not what we should be valuing in the first place. It's like sex is overrated type shit, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's like you in and out of someone's body, and because it feels the way it feels, it's glorified. So with that weak flesh that we worship feelings, you know. So as OGUN protects you, be mindful as you see people falling out of your life. All of a sudden, they don't reach out no more, or they blatantly act in a way that will trigger you to not want to be friends with them or close to them or talk to them or however way. The people that are not meant to surround you, they'll stop showing up. They won't have it in them. And those that have a dark entity attachment within them that is pushing them to do what they do against you. Meaning, if you still have a snake around you and they're still pretending to be anything outside of what they are, if they're pretending to be anything outside of what they are, but they're really a snake, just know it's only a matter of time before the mask falls off. And however way God chooses to let it rip, it will. If God wants the snake to stay in your energy, to prove to the snake that they're weak in their venom, then God will purposely put that close friend in your midst, knowing that that close friend is sick in the mind. But because that close friend is such a jealous, predatory spirit that houses so many spirits within them that are fueling the jealousy they have towards you, meaning they have more strength to pretend in your face and smile and pretend to care. God can also play that game. He'll put you in a position where you are seen in a specific glory by that very same person who wants to see you down. But God will say, rise in your glory in front of them until that chases them away. Even if your glory has to chase them away, simply put, God will make it happen. Now, they can't even be around you because you look too good and they jealous of that hair, girl. Or they jealous of that style, bro, you know? Knights of Swords reversed to the Empress. So you're being called to learn your life and learn to love yourself in your life. There's no such thing as a life that's better than yours, okay, beloved? Don't ever think that there's a life that's better than yours because of how things look. So many things can look a certain way but not be what they seem. Terror is not demonic. People just make it out to be that way because they touch what is of God and turn it into Satan's property. But it's of God. Fuck Satan. Justice. Just know that the choice is yours. Every day you choose which team you're on. I'd say be on the winning team and choose God. All praises worship due to the Most High God. Allah, Ra, Source, the Divine. Nothing else, no one else, no idol, no deity. We have the Hermit to the World reversed. So there's so much to come when it comes to OGUN. You're almost gonna feel untouchable, but because you have learned your relationship with God, you know not to let things get in your head. Just because you are protected to this degree, don't mean go test that protection. You know, there are people that are like that in life. They know that because, oh, this and this, you know, can heal me, let me just cause myself whatever to get that cure because that cure exists. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go get the herpes and the SiDE, HIV, I'm gonna sleep around raw because I know there's a cure. There would be a world crisis if there was a cure for sexual transmitted diseases, because people would get comfortable in knowing that they can go just buy pills. So the power, that the sacredness of OGUN is to be respected. You need to respect yourself and your world, therefore. Learn to, every day. Whatever you're called to do, do it. Because it's not you. You know that already. You don't need to constantly be reassured about your presence, the presence of your ancestors. Because they're helping you navigate through OGUN. Because this OGUN power is the type of power that can make someone mad. Imagine knowing that you're protected from steel. Like any metal, any steel. You can shoot me, but it won't. On some, you know, or you can try to curse an object in my home and then it works in my favor. You know, things like that. You can try to send Malakia evil out to me and I just rise in my glory until your Malakia kills you because you're so envious and jealous of my identity. You choose your hell. You know, people choose their hell. So with regards to OGUN, learn to respect it because it will send you to hell if you don't, if you overuse it and abuse it. Because you're protected doesn't mean put yourself in compromising positions mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Love yourself enough to nurture that protection and watch it work for you in your life as servantry, service. And appreciate God and how good He is. How mighty He is. God is an intelligent God. A God of structure and order. So best believe all that is happening right now is for a reason. And however way God needs to restore and cleanse and redeem and vindicate and justice to your name, He will do that. Just bear with Him as He bears with us all as we sin. Right in His face. Right? It won't take much for us to at least give Him time. He's working on your heart, your mind, your spirit, your body, your life. Give Him time. This was your message from God. Allah, Ra, Source, the Divine. I'm grateful for your time and I thank you so much for joining me on the Prophetic Vessel Show. If you're keen or interested in becoming a member of my Patreon, on my Patreon, I do offer weekly sign readings for $10 per month based on love as well as ancestral lineage readings. I also offer on my Patreon personal readings. For $50 per month, you get a personal reading from me every month based on love, spiritual path, career, and finances, as well as ancestral messages. I also now offer one-on-one sessions / life coach sessions. Those will be once off and not monthly. You can only book me for those directly via my email, which will be listed in my description box below, as well as the link to my Patreon if you'd rather join my Patreon instead. You can also join my Patreon by typing what is on the screen via Google, search it, and it'll lead you to my Patreon website. I thank you all for everything, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.